Hey folks, Keith here on Keith's Vision. It's June 4, 2026. And our wonderful Republicans in the Senate have rejected the Save America Act in a budget vote. It was put forth by Lindsey Graham. I'm not too happy with him anyway, but they shot it down. It was 48 to 51. That was in the trending on X, and I thought I would just put that out there. Our Republican team has so much become the uniparty leaders that we're not going to have a country pretty soon, and that makes sense if you consider Ezekiel 38 and 39 in war. If you go read Ezekiel, we'll kind of dip into Ezekiel tonight. Let's move on with the first story away from the trending. Wall Street apes. We're going to start in California, my wonderful state. We couldn't find our butt with a map and a mirror. So Wall Street Apes covers this story. Democrats in Oakland, California installed new speeding cameras at 18 intersections. Oh, that ought to go over well. Oakland says it handed out, wait for it, 82,000 speeding tickets between March and April. The fines were up to $500. They are sending out over 2,000 tickets per day. Low-income drivers, oh, here you go, the low-income drivers in those zip codes. I got to check my zip code. So low-income drivers and those on public benefits get reduced rates on their tickets. It's okay for them. We're just going after the people that have money. Now, here's the thing. How do they know you are on public benefits as a driver? How do they know you're low income? Anybody ask themselves that? Huh? Yeah. Right off the DMV, boom, into your income statement, and oh, you fall below the threshold. We're going to give you a discount. So it continues on. The drivers in Oakland are very unhappy about the amount of tickets being given out. Once you let the government install things to take away more of your money, they'll never stop the program. It will only expand. Yeah. It's all about extracting more revenue from Americans. This was on May 9th. And I put a comment in here, or actually May 29th. I put a comment in here, even if the average ticket is $250, that nets a cool $20,500,000 in that short period of time between March and April. Who gets that money? What will it be used for? Isn't it special how the government can discount the lower income people? Yeah, I want to be lower income, so I get all those discounts. It's coming. We're going to all be. Government's ready to do it. And I'm not talking about the United States. We're talking about World Economic Forum and the rest of them. So we're going to continue on, but we're going to stay in my stupid state. Wall Street Apes again. This came from Don Guth on X. California just told a city that they could be prosecuted for trying to save a trafficked child. So I went into the guts of this, where Wall Street Ape found the article, went into Grok and said, is this true? Yeah. Here we go. The city of El Cajon, California, filed a lawsuit in San Diego's Superior Court, East County Division, on or around April 29, 2026, against California Attorney General Rob Bonta and the state. Yeah, he's a piece of work. It challenges Senate Bill 54, the 2017 California Values Act, or sanctuary law, which restricts state and local law enforcement from cooperating with federal immigration authorities, with limited exceptions. This goes on. Key details that match the post. The tip. El Cajon officials received a federal tip reportedly from DHS or ICE, about 52 undocumented children in the area suspected of being potential sex trafficking victims or living in unsafe conditions. For example, unaccompanied or with adults. The state response. City officials sought guidance from California Attorney General's office in the DOJ on whether local police could perform wellness and welfare checks, possibly in coordination with federal authorities. They were advised that doing so would violate SB 54. This is our California. Our state is so screwed up, we don't even have a clue what's going on in this state. We are nuts. Don't move here. It would be dumb. We got so many people moving out, you'd be looking saying, well, there's a lot of traffic on Highway 10 headed east. They're leaving California. Wow, look at the inflow going into California. There's nobody on the road. Well, nobody's dumb enough to move here. We're just out of control. We are out of control. I'm going to stay with California. It gets better. This is from Carl DeMaio. He's an assembly member down in the San Diego area, California. He put out a bad bill alert. Sacramento politicians want to meddle with Google Maps and Apple Maps so they can influence how Californians drive. Most of us that have a phone use an app, and the app will usually give you 2 to 3 different options. You can choose the longer route, the slower route, or the shorter route. No, California government wants to make sure that changes. So he says that means longer commutes, more time sitting in traffic, and more government control over your daily life. He says keep politicians out of our cars, our commutes, and our maps. So here's the dealio. I think I've already mentioned, and we're still waiting for it to actually go through, but it looks like they're going to pass the mileage tax. It may have already passed and I haven't seen it yet. I think Carl will freak out when it does happen, so I'm pretty well informed on that. So if they charge you per mile in California, and they're able to manipulate the maps that you're using to get to your destination, and that manipulation can cause the system through algorithms to choose the longer route per mileage tax times how many trips. You see where I'm going with this? This is California. The Dems never met a tax they didn't like. And they're always looking at taxes to see how can we squeeze more out of it. And they're blaming this mileage tax on the fact that electric cars aren't paying gas taxes, so they're not fixing the roads. They don't have the money to fix the roads because there's more electric cars on the road. And they claim the electric cars are damaging the road worse than the gas cars. We're all stuck up in our own junk. So who didn't see this coming? Right? Why didn't they just put an annual on the registration? X% of your registration fee is going to the road tax. Nah, let's do this later. Let's do it later, or we can scoop everybody in. We're dumb. Our state is so dumb. And if you are a Democrat and you think you're going to vote for Newsom as president, let me tell you, you are going to get exactly what you asked for. We're already living it here in California. Don't. It's dumb. Kumala, maybe. I mean, that's how you run a country right there, with a giggle and a laugh and a smile. And the moon is made of cheese. California, I'm telling you, we're just waiting for the big one. Just waiting for the big one. We're either going to be an island or we're going to be out off of that shelf that's off the Pacific coast that they haven't found the bottom. That's where we really should be as a state. God might do that. He's been known to punish evil. So now let's go big. Let's come out of California and go big. But we're going to be in California and we're going to be in Florida. So Google is planning to release 64 million Wolbachia infected mosquitoes into neighborhoods in Florida and California. What could go wrong with that? This is reckless, irreversible biological experimentation on American communities and our ecosystems with no off switch. This is from Dr. Simone Gold. This is one of the doctors that was shut down in the C-19 epidemic when it all hit us. And all the doctors stood up and were talking about that stuff that was, you didn't have to do with that thing that goes in your arm. You could take that horse paste and fight the C-19. She was one of the doctors they shut down. So we'll continue on. Florida recorded just 6 West Nile cases last year. The risk is negligible, yet they're proceeding anyway. These altered mosquitoes could disrupt birds, bats, the entire food chains with consequences we cannot undo. Enough of big tech playing God with our environment and our health. Tell the EPA to reject this dangerous experiment. She's got a link in there. You can find it out on social media. Just look up Dr. Simone, which is Simone Gold. And she's on X. I think she's across most of the platforms. Tomorrow, June 5th, you're probably not going to have this by then. Comments close. There's not that many comments on that thing already. This is dumb. This is a tech giant messing with 64 million mosquitoes to cure a problem that doesn't exist. Does it sound like Billy Gates? Sure does. Sounds like it to me. Humanity is going down the tubes. We're going down the tubes. We're talking about famine and pestilence, and they usually occur in that order, right? In this country, we're knocking out farmland. We're going to stop feeding the people. And when you can't get any food, you can't control the hygiene, you get the famine. Well, they're just going to deliver the famine early with these mosquitoes. Dumb. And all of a sudden it's Google. Are we supposed to believe it's better than Billy Gates? Because I'm sure these are probably Billy Gates mosquitoes that he caught hell for. So he probably said, hey, Google, how about you do this? I got to keep my name clean. We're in some real rough times. And I say that because the best part's in the Bible. We're watching prophecy leap off the page. People, if you don't believe, you're going to. Every knee shall bow. Period. And I've got a little anchor to that at the end of the show here. So now we're going to flop over to New York City. Actually, New York itself, not just the city. So this is from Jack Danger on X. New York just crossed a line that many Americans never thought they'd see. Here it comes, folks. This is the ultimate surveillance. Under New York's new law, repeat speeders can now be forced to install a GPS-connected device in their vehicle that monitors speed and can limit how fast the car travels. Read that again. Yep. Your car, your engine, your gas pedal. Now connected to the government-mandated system that can determine how fast you're allowed to drive. Now we'll pause on that for a second, and we'll go back to this kill switch that everybody keeps hearing about. That kill switch is already in play. Cars that are built for 2027 will have that kill switch in them. That is an AI built, monitored, and running system that will watch you, your eyeballs. Literally will tell you, you need to pay attention. Sit up straight so I can see your eyeballs. And if you look impaired, whatever that impairment may be, based on AI's thought processes, which there's no rules right now apparently, then it can start applying the brake and bringing you to the side of the road. Or not. It may just stop you on a 4-lane highway. There is no control over the system. You will no longer have control over your car. But wait, remember, Klaus Schwab, you'll own nothing and you'll like it. It's coming. And that's biblical. He's just playing into it. So continuing on with this, officials say it's about safety and stopping dangerous drivers. Yes, sure it is. It's always about safety. Critics say it's something much bigger. The normalization of government-controlled vehicles. What happens when insurance companies want access? What happens when every new vehicle comes with the technology already installed? 2027. What happens when speed limits can change remotely? Well, they couldn't do that. Well, they're doing it in Walmart with prices, digital price tags. You can get your item and it's $1.99, and you get to the counter and it's $3.50. You're like, wait a minute, that's not what I saw on the tag. And then you go back to the tag and it could say $3.50 or $1.99. It's a digital environment we're getting into, folks. Prepare. What happens when the speed limit changes remotely? Yeah, that's a second time for you, just to kind of sink that in. For decades, Americans were sold the slippery slope was a myth. Now we're watching GPS tracking, vehicle monitoring, and electronic speed control move from science fiction into public policy. Supporters call it accountability. Opponents call it the beginning of a future where your car no longer belongs entirely to you. One thing is certain, the conversation is no longer about whether the technology exists. It's about who controls it. The future isn't coming. It's already being installed under the dashboard. Yeah, this is where we're at. Buckle up, folks. We never thought we would see this, did we? We never thought. But remember something. Knowledge will increase. That's in Daniel. I believe it's Daniel 9 or 12 at the end of the book. Knowledge will increase. I would say we're increasing. I would say we're increasing at breakneck speed, and somebody forgot to put the 5-point seatbelt on. So we are going to go and dip into this just a smidgen further from the last post on the GPS cars. So Valerie Ann Smith on X posted a video of Dr. Mike Yeadon, who's a former Pfizer vice president. How does this happen? On Agenda 2030. I thought that didn't exist. Digital ID and CBDCs, central bank data, digital currencies. He's quoted, by 2030, you will not be able to leave the country. You will not own private transport. You will have a digital ID to do everything, and you will only have electronic money with which to transact. He continues, I would say at that point, you are a slave, and because you can see them coming, you should say no. Say no right now. This is a guy that probably now has a .50 caliber pointed at his head. He's letting it out. This is a guy that knows. But why is a vaccine company involved with 2030 or Agenda 2030 and digital ID and CBDCs? Ask yourself that. We just had C-19, and there was a lot of conspiracy realists that we're talking about the fact that it wasn't just a forced vaccine that came on that did not have a good track record for the tests. They had other ideas. And it looks like those realists are being proven true. And then here's Grandma Carol commenting on it. Yep, that's exactly what the World Economic Forum wants. And I think they'll be facing the majority of people who won't be compliant. So I agree with that, but I don't agree with the fact that it won't be compliant. Because we're already being told by Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, that they will take your money. They will remove it from your investment accounts and your retirement accounts, and you'll never be the wiser. They've been doing it for 30 years. They've been working on all the framework. It's getting ugly. Better get your salvation in order. If you don't have it in order, read John. Go to John in the Bible. So, wow, look at this. Flock cameras. Have you heard of these flock cameras? Have you seen them? We've got them up all over town. They're just an unsuspecting black post with a solar panel and a camera on the other side to record the back of your car. So this one is from vp.net. And the title is quite amusing. It says, Getting the Flock Out, How Cities Are Fighting Back Against Flock Safety Cameras. Dayton, Ohio covered its flock automated license plate reader cameras with black trash bags after an audit found immigration-related searches, and officials could not confirm they were allowed to remove the cameras under their own contract. Oops. So 2 Boulder, Colorado residents filed a class action suit on May 27, 2026, calling the city's 31 flock cameras unconstitutional under the Colorado Constitution. Bandera, Texas voted 3-2 to end its flock contract, and Edmonds, Washington became the third Snohomish County city to cancel on May 26. People are getting smart to these things. This is how they're going to follow us. This is how they're going to track what we do. And that sounds a little familiar to me. What is that Revelation 17, that pesky thing about they will have a system that you won't be able to buy or sell lest you have the mark. Yeah, that. Yeah. You better start believing. So we're going to step into a little deeper than flock cameras. Wall Street apes again. On X. The quote is, if you thought flock cameras are bad, law enforcement now has a system that identifies you based on the signals coming off of every single device you have. This is wild. And I can see how it could easily happen. So it says it collects your Bluetooth, your Wi-Fi, your RFID signals from your phone, your smartwatch, your headphones, your car's radio, absolutely everything. Apple tags, you name it, because they're Bluetooth. Then it builds what they call an electronic fingerprint. And their website gives an example of this. So picture 70 cars drive by one of these systems. It's not a flock camera. These are different. It looks like they're flat white panels, almost like Starlink. Every car has an iPhone, but not every car has the same iPhone model or the same smartwatch that's on you, same headphones, same everything else. So they build a profile based on you, not just your car's license plate anymore. So that combination is unique to you. They don't just need your license plate anymore. They don't even need a picture of your face. They just need the signals that your devices are already broadcasting. It can work in malls, subways, any public place, pretty much anywhere this can work. And then all of that information is going to get stored on a server where it could be searched for later. Data centers. If we only had data centers, oh, that's right, they're going up all over the place. And not just in America, they're going up around the world. So we continue on. This isn't some random theory, it's real. He's researched the details of it. It's called SignalTrace, one word. It's commercially available law enforcement tool. It extends beyond traditional automatic license plate recognition by capturing publicly broadcast radio signals from everyday devices. Signals captured, Bluetooth from phones, watches, headphones, car systems, Wi-Fi, RFID tags, key fobs, luggage, and other local device emissions. It creates an electronic fingerprint unique profile by correlating multiple device signals that travel together with a vehicle and person. This includes your specific iPhone model, smartwatch, car infotainment, headphones. Massive surveillance. Tracking profiles without needing faces, license plates, or warrants in many cases. Networks of these sensors could map movements across cities easily. It builds persistent tracking profiles without needing faces, plates, or warrants. Networks of these sensors will probably be showing up in your areas. So, based on what I saw from the SignalTrace, is it looks like they'll be putting them in intersections. You're going to get the four-way. And they're going to capture it all. And then that data is going to get put together with other data in some big data center. Technology is moving very rapidly. And Jesus did say it'll be like birth pains in those days. They will be more frequent and more intense. And every day it seems like it's getting both. So I'm going to do a short run here on Ezekiel 36, because when somebody says, well, how do you even know the Bible's true? I give you Israel. Ezekiel 36 will tell you. I would recommend you read it. In fact, read the whole book of Ezekiel. So I'm going to start in verse 19 of chapter 36, and I'm going to make it to verse 29, possibly. So I scattered them among the nations. This is God. And they were dispersed throughout the countries. I judged them according to their ways and their deeds. When they came to the nations, wherever they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said of them, these are the people of the Lord, and yet they have gone out of his land. But I had concern for my holy name, which is the house of Israel, had profaned among the nations wherever they went. Therefore, say to the house of Israel, thus says the Lord, I do not do this for your sake, O house of Israel, but for my holy name's sake, which you have profaned among the nations wherever you went. And I will sanctify my great name, which has been profaned among the nations, which you have profaned in their midst. And the nations shall know that I am the Lord, says the Lord God, when I am hallowed in you before their eyes. In other words, set apart, set holy. Continues on verse 24. For I will take you from among the nations, here it comes, gather you out of all countries, and bring you into your own land. Then I will sprinkle clean water on you, and you shall be clean. I will cleanse you from all your filthiness and from all your idols. Continues on. God will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you. I will take the heart of stone out of your flesh, and I will give you a heart of flesh. I will put my spirit within you and cause you to walk in my statutes. And you will keep my judgments and do them. Then you shall dwell in the land I gave your fathers. Didn't say Palestine, did he? You shall be my people, and I will be your God. Now, I say that to the people that seem to think that God is done with Israel and the church is the new Israel. He's saying right here in Ezekiel, I will be your God. They're my people from him. I will deliver you from all your uncleanness. I will call for the grain and multiply it and bring no famine upon you. He brings them in May 14th, 1948. They become a nation in a day. That's biblical as well. And they immediately have 5 nations come against them. And they're still there. So I give you the anchor point. Israel is back in their land. It's history. You can look it up. You don't even need the Bible to do it. They are in their land, as promised by God. What other book says that? And what other nation has done that? 2,000 years later, I give you Israel. If that's not enough for you to start scratching your head and saying, maybe I should look into this a little bit, then I'm sorry for you. Again, go read John. John will give you everything you need in a nice, easy read. He'll give you the gospel, and then you can deny God, and you'll be responsible for it. And it'll be off my chest of doing it. Go with God, I'm telling you. It's not going to get better. This church replacement theory seems to think we're going to make the earth better so that Jesus can come back. Do you see the earth getting better? Do you see man getting better right now? I don't. And I'm not the only one. I'm just eyes open. Anyway, have a great week, and we'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting my show.